Welcome to this discussion session, and Salam alaikum and Ramadan Kareem to all present here. Okay, and as Anwar Ceramics, the financials have been uploaded, and then I'm sure you have all had a look at the financials. Just to give a brief, where we have done about the gross sales of about 21 million as against 27.6 million last year, with a drop of about 25%. And then we had a profit before tax. We grew by about 31%, basically riding on other income, and we had some gain on the fair value gains on investments. And profit after tax stood at about 3.8 million as against 2.9 million of last year, signifying a growth of 30%. Though operationally we were down over last year significantly, for the reasons which has already been mentioned in our director's report. And the EPS for the year was at about 17 paisa as against 13 paisa. And the book value stands at a very healthy 154 paisa as compared to 145 paisa of last year. So with this just opening comment, I would leave the floor to the members present here so that we can spend more time on your queries, and then we can take answer as much as possible all your questions that you have. Now I leave the floor to the members in the yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Mr. Kosi.
Yeah, it's Asad Al-Khusaybi.
Yeah, Mr. Khusaybi, yeah.
What is the outlook for ceramic this year, or the future outlook of the ceramic here in Oman, or Anwar Ceramic?
Yeah, see, the future outlook, as we have already mentioned in our report, the outlook seems to be a little better as compared to what we ended last year with. Last year, if you see, the last 2 quarters was not all that impressive. We barely made any profits during the last 2 quarters, whereas what we foresee now is much better than what we did in the last 2 quarters. Basically because there has been some movement in the, as mentioned in our report, there has been some movement in the customs duty relief in the Saudi Arabian, from the Saudi Arabian customs. So they have started giving the refunds and things like that, so that we are able to move some materials into Saudi Arabia. Though we have not got back the full volumes which we were expecting, but it has started trickling in. And then in the meantime, we had some, a temporary constraint in terms of the movement of materials to Saudi Arabia because of the Red Sea problem, because of which the transport has become a little difficult now. But otherwise, that we foresee as a very temporary phenomena. Hopefully, going forward, we should be able to overcome that. And coming to the Oman market, in fact, we see that the Oman market is quite stable. And then after having the government announcing loans to the citizens, so we expect that the demand should pick up. And also the government has announced the Haytham city, and then they are coming out with some bigger projects, so which will augur well for our industry. So overall, as of now, for this year, we see that the Oman market should be stable of what we have been doing.
Okay, thank you very much. It's clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, Suresh. This is Samir from AFG Hermes.
Yeah, good afternoon, Samir.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you so much. How are you?
All good, all good. Thank you so much for the session. Just want to get some update on the Saudi market. So in terms of the, when you mentioned about the relief, what kind of, relief you're seeing in terms of volume growth, in terms of the pricing scenario there? Can you quantify that, how big that moment is?
See, that movement started off pretty well in the beginning of the or during the last quarter itself. End of last quarter, we had a good movement in the Saudi market. But this quarter, there has been some disturbances in the what do you call, because of the trucking. Otherwise, the order book is quite decent in that market. And coming to the pricing also, it is not as low as what it had gone down to in the last year first half, because there also I think the government has also put some restrictions on the local companies not to get into a price war kind of a thing. So the prices have somewhat stabilized, but still it is not the same what we used to obtain previously, but it is much better than what we were obtaining uh, last year beginning. So we need to wait and see for another 1 or 2 quarters till we resolve this geopolitical situation is resolved, and then we are able to have a free movement of our material into Saudi. I mean, as far as the order book is concerned, it is pretty decent, whereas the movement is temporarily, I mean, we have some constraints which we are trying to overcome now, because it's not in our hands, because the trucking and the shipping industry is in a turmoil because of the situation on the ground. So that's where we stand on the Saudi market, Samir.
Got you, got you. And in terms of your capacity, what's I mean your capacity expansion? The first phase is already done, right? So could you remind where do you stand right now? And
Yeah, see, we have completed the first phase, which means our current capacity is anywhere between, we can say anywhere between 19 and a half or 19 to 20 million, depending on what products we produce. And currently we are operating at about 80 to 85%. Okay, and then if everything goes well and if the normalcy is returned to Saudi, then we can look at upping our capacity utilizations.
okay, and in terms of the product profile, you were mentioned about your new capacity will be more digitalized, or large format tiles, and the margins will be better. So were you able to realize those margin accretive products, or how are you seeing that? I mean, is those products are getting enough demand in the market?
Okay. See, we in the last expansion phase, in fact, we wanted to, or rather we put up the machinery which is capable of producing large format tiles. And then we have already introduced in the market. Because of all these turmoils and things like that, it is not, what do you call, shaped up to the way we wanted it, or we would have loved to have it. But having said that, still we have been able to cater to the market, wherever there is a demand for these products, we are able to cater to it. And then we will need to see, we have to go to the next step of upping it and then seeing how we can further improve the market for those products. But we have the capability, we have the latest equipment for it, and then we have already introduced about 3-4 sizes, the large format sizes, which is well accepted in the market. We are just waiting for it to sink in and then become a success.
Got you. Maybe one last question from my side. What's your like this Oman market? I think there were some in terms of supply, the Al Hail Ceramic, if I am pronouncing it correctly, it has been acquired and they are in the market. So you already have a large supply. Do you have any status of those their products in the market, and how that's impacting Oman market?
See, according to the information which I have, Al Hail is planning to do more of porcelain tiles, so which is not in direct competition with us. So to that extent, I wouldn't be able to comment as to what stage they are in. Okay, but they being basically focusing on the porcelain tiles, to that extent, it has not affected us in any way as of now. And we don't see that it will affect us also if they are going to continue producing the porcelain tiles as what they have envisaged.
Got you. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, gentlemen, anybody else? Any other questions? Yeah, hi, Joyce.
Hi.
Yeah, I see you are
Hi,
raising your
Suresh.
hand.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
hi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Just further picking up in Saudi again, you said that there is a 6 months waivers on payment of duty.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
See, basically, the Saudi customs imposition was basically saying that if you prove that you are a GCC manufacturer with a minimum value addition as stipulated by their country of origin rules, they will give a waiver to our customers, saying that they don't need to pay that duty for 6 months, and every 6 months it will be renewed as and when we resubmit the revised documents. Every 6 months we have to submit the documents proving that we are a local company, and then we have a value addition which is meeting the
Local content.
the local content as laid down in their laws. So that is how it happens, and some of our customers have in fact got that exemption. The exemption doesn't mean that they are totally off it. It means that they don't need to pay the duty when they are importing it. But however, they have to submit all the papers and ensure that if they are satisfied, then that is the end of it. If the authorities are not satisfied, then they may impose the duty on them. Okay, so as far as the very proof that the very proof that we have already submitted all the documents and they have already got the waivers means all our papers are in place, and then our customers are enjoying that duty-free import into Saudi.
Okay. And in our last discussions, we were you said that you are discounting the 15% duty to the dealers in Saudi.
Yeah, 12%. Yes.
So yes, 12%. When we start to when this money starts to hit the accounts,
Right.
does it mean that you will reverse that in the cost of sales?
See, what has already been paid and what has been by them, and where they have not been able to claim it, we will not be able to get it back. Okay, prospectively, in fact, as I mentioned to you in the last conversation also during our last discussion meeting, very clearly that going forward is what they have started giving, and in fact from I think August or September onwards they have already started refunding. August September 23 onwards they have started refunding the amounts, and from them on for those periods we have not provided at all. So what we have provided, if we get back, we will be reversing it, which is a remote possibility.
Okay, got it. And on the inventories, I'm seeing a little bit of inventory built up in the balance sheet.
Yeah.
When will we be able to push this inventory out of our stock?
See, I would say that what inventory we are holding is not very high, because you are comparing it to the opening of the year or the closing of the previous year, which was pretty low. Because the previous year was a very, very good year, and then we were not able to maintain the inventory which we would have allowed to. What we hold is not more than 2.5 months of inventory, which is a very optimum inventory. But having said that, once the situation is streamlined, and once it gets back into normal on the Red Sea side and the movement to the Saudi and other things, for sure the inventories will start coming down. Still, we don't want it to bring it down to a level where it's going to be very low. We should be able to maintain optimum inventory to service the demand comfortably.
Okay. And our DSO has reached almost 6 months.
Sorry?
The DSO, the receivables have reached almost 10 million, 11 million riyals.
That's right.
So, where is this pressure coming from, and how are we planning to manage this?
It's across all the markets. It's across all the markets. There is a stress on collections, but then like what I had mentioned even during my last discussions, we have been very careful on extending credit. We are extending credit to whom we are comfortable with, who have been with us for 20-25 years right from the beginning with us, and those kind of things we are ensured, and we have put a system in place, and we are not uncomfortable with this credit, but at the same time we are ensuring that we are keeping an eye on it, and then maybe going forward, once the situation improves in Saudi, probably I think it should come back to the normal levels.
Okay, just my question was whether we should be expecting any impairment provisions on this amount and the aging. How do you see the development?
No. There is no requirement for any impairment at all, because it has been the impairment testing has been done by the auditors, and whatever is required has already adequately been provided already in the books. If you see, there has been adequate provision already made for the ECL. Expected credit losses has been taken care of in the audit itself. So I don't see that itself is, I would say that we have a comfortable level, because which as per IFRS we have to make the working, and then we have to disclose it, and then we have to account it, which we have done. And in fact, going forward, once the collection starts coming in and things like that, there can be a small reversal from that ECL. But I don't foresee any major impairment that needs to be written off.
Okay, got it. And is there any possibility of further impairment write back from the investments?
From the investments, no, this year already we have matured everything. In 2024 first quarter, we already matured everything, and whatever is there has been accounted. Probably when we release the first quarter accounts, you will see what is the status on that.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, Suresh.
Okay, thank you, Joyce.
Pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, sure, pleasure. Yeah, hi, Bishan. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Suresh. Thank you for the call and the answers so far. Just a few follow-up questions to what my colleagues asked.
Sure.
Firstly, on the operating side, I mean, I'm just going to round it up. We've seen sort of a big drop in the numbers, and you've explained the reasons for that.
Yeah.
Heading into Q1, do you see a similar trend compared to Q4, where you have, let's say a below 5 million quarter in terms of top line and lower realization prices and margins? How do you see first quarter and the rest of 24 from an operating perspective, firstly?
As I told in the beginning, what we had experienced in the last 2 quarters of last year is behind us. I can clearly say that it is behind us, and then Q1, Q2, as we see, should be better than what we did in the last 2 quarters. Certainly, it should be better. Okay, how much better and things like that, it all depends on how quickly the resolution happens on the current situation in the what do you call, in the region. Okay,
Right.
so even without that also, there should be a decent what do you call, for sure there will be a decent growth over what we did in the last 2 quarters.
In terms of realization, how do you see those panning out? Because you've seen a drop. I mean, just purely because we have 2 main ceramic listed companies and both have different strategies. Your strategy has always been to maintain market share, because when the tide turns, you'll be able to push high realization prices, whereas probably one of your peers have the philosophy of maintaining realization prices. So if you could just comment on that, would you continue to sort of push out at lower realization prices to maintain market share, hoping that once the tide turns, it would be in your favor?
That's right. That has always been our strategy, and then we will continue with the same strategy. Okay, so what on the realization front, it is not what happened in the last second half of 2023, as I said, is behind us, and there is a small uptick in the realization, overall realization. When I say it is not market specific for the company as such, I am saying that there will be an uptick in the realization, but we need to wait and see how much we can appropriate, and then how much we can take it up, or whether we need to maintain it to ensure that we push out more of volumes. I mean, all those things strategically we will. It's a very dynamic decision which we keep taking it. So I wouldn't be able to comment whether we will be going down our realization or whether we'll be pushing it up. For sure, overall performance, we want to ensure that it is going to be better.
Sure. Now, you mentioned in the previous calls that in order to offset the drop in Saudi volumes, you were looking at alternate markets like Yemen and Jordan, and you were facing some challenges in Jordan because of the conflict. How
That's
are those
right.
two markets currently doing? Let's say for 24, what is your outlook? Do you expect it to be weak, or you see some uptick over there if the current situation is resolved?
Okay. See, in Jordan, we need to wait till the situation is resolved, because the current situation is clearly prohibiting us from moving more materials through the Red Sea because of the very exorbitant freight costs. So there, very clearly, we need to wait. But Yemen, predominantly, it is going by road. So not predominantly, more than 100% is going by road via Salalah. So to that extent, we don't have any major issues there, except that there will be some price war on imports coming in from Saudi and things like that, which we have been able to manage it quite well. So in fact, 2024 Yemen is looking robust. There is no major issues on that front. And also we are also looking at other markets, pushing up a little on the other markets like Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain and things like that, though it may not be significant in volume terms, but whatever we are able to get additional volumes there will help us in our bottom line.
Noted. Now, if I look at your balance sheet, your investment book, you had a 2.5 million drop in investment book during the fourth quarter. Now, the entire 2.5 was maturity, and did you realize the entire amount?
Investment through, I mean, I'm not, which number you're referring to?
So so if I look at your Q3 balance sheet, you had a financial asset held to maturity of 5.968 million, which came down to 3.466 million.
That's
So
right.
2.5 million. That was, I would assume that was a maturity amount.
That's
Did
right.
you realize
That's right.
the entire
Yes.
amount was realized?
Yes, entire
Okay.
amount was realized. That is why you will see that there is a fair value gain, also a substantial fair value gain which we have reported. There also we have reported, if you see in our P&L, we have said that there is a realized gain of 1.7 million, and then still we were carrying 240,000 of unrealized gain also at the end of the year.
And now in February, you had this maturity of the balance 3.46 million. So you've realized the entire 3.46 million.
That's right.
And there would be then a gain of 240,000 on that.
That's
right. You
right.
can expect in Q1 numbers.
That's
okay.
right. But already it has been accounted last year, right?
Okay, fine. And what would be the plan with this maturity amount going forward? It would be in fixed deposits or?
Today we are a debt-free company. I mean, if you see, we had our term loans. Okay, so we because even fixed deposits, the term loans interest rates are obviously higher than the fixed deposit. So presently we have already foreclosed all our loans. So we are a debt-free company, and then our finance cost will considerably come down now.
Noted. Now, you mentioned about the outlook and optimism around the 85% utilization on 19 million capacity, and you mentioned you have the Sultan Haitham City and you have a few more projects. But just given the sheer nature of the ceramic sector, which is the last leg of infrastructure, it comes at the last leg, and most of these projects have not hit the ground probably.
That's right.
So how confident are you of achieving that 85% utilization? I'm not talking of prices right now, just on hitting that 85% utilization as a company in FY24 on that 19 million number.
See, 85. See, already, if you see our numbers of 23, also we had almost achieved 80%. Okay, so going by without the Saudi, playing a major role during the year, at least a major part of the year. So considering that Saudi is partially back, I think maintaining this 85% is not a major issue. What I was telling you is that with all these projects coming up, and especially with 50,000 loans for the citizens given, that will happen very quickly. I mean, because they are all individual villas and houses which the locals will, I mean, the citizens will be building. So those demand will start coming up in the next 4, 5 months, 6 months. Having said that, that is going to be the additional demand. Already the existing demand is continuing to be there. As we are seeing that, month after month, we have there is a stability in the demand on that. This is the growth demand which we want to tap, and then see that we appropriate as much as possible, and then see that we grow above that 85%. That's what I was trying to refer to.
Understood. Now you have liquidated in first quarter the balance investments. Going forward, we see a drop in finance costs, but the investment income that the company used to record to the tune of 1 to 1.5 million riyals historically last 2-3 years, that would also significantly come down, right?
That there will be a drop in that too. Yes.
Okay, so effectively the core contributor to net profit would be operating income then.
Operating income plus the other investments. See, above the line, there are other investments through comprehensive income investments are there. And then whatever is the excess cash that we will be having, we will be investing it. And then, I mean, those things will still continue, but not to the extent what we have enjoyed it in the past.
Right. And if you were to, if things go your way, the way they were, let's say a year and a half back, what sort of margins does the company see on an operating and on a net level, or at least on an operating level? What sort of aspirational margins do you see given the current reality and the way things are shaping up?
See, we would like to go back to what we were doing earlier, but that is going to be that will take some more time, and then we can't put a timeline to it. But we will try our best to see what more we can do. I mean, strategically, what are the areas on because for us, more than increasing the realization, the challenges will be to reduce cost. Okay, so cost control is going to be one of the major initiative which we will take. So which will also compensate the realization losses in the market. So I mean, I can't put a number to it, but then all the efforts are there on that direction.
So when you talk of cost, I mean, if we look at the fixed cost versus the variable cost structure for the company, there is a huge operating leverage that the company enjoyed when the utilization levels increased in the last few years.
That's
what
right.
sort of reduction or what sort of scope do you see on the cost side, even if you were able to achieve your sort of cost control initiatives?
Yeah, see, cost control initiatives, I mean, it is a continuous process. It's a very, very what do you call, dynamic and a very continuous process. I mean, I can't put a number to it, but then if we are able to achieve say 95% capacity utilization, for example, there will be a substantial benefit on a per unit cost, straight away. So all those things will directly hit the bottom line.
Okay, so that's more on the operating leverage you're talking about. The higher the utilization, automatically that absorbs fixed cost.
That's
okay,
right. That's right.
Okay, that's right. Okay. All right. That's it for me, Mr. Suresh. Wish you all the best and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Joyce, I think you have a follow-up.
Yeah, just a follow-up on the debt side. Did you mention that you prepaid all the loans that we are carrying at the end of the year during this year?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Samir. Think you have a follow-up?
Yeah, just a follow-up. In 2023, which can you give like a revenue? Which market gave you the maximum revenue, and what's the contribution from Saudi? Because Saudi used to be your like 35% of your revenue, right? So where do you stand in 2023? Just want to see.
2023 it went down significantly. Okay, but but always Oman has been our prime market, and it continues to be our prime market. Okay, and then we don't see a change in that even going forward. And even in 23, our prime market was our home market of Oman. Okay, and Saudi market, yes, there was a significant drop because especially in the second half of last year. So overall, on an annualized basis, there appeared to be a drop. But that I think we should catch up this year going forward.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Also, in Saudi, the gas price has increased by almost 55%. From early this year, and how that's going to impact you. Like, is that the reason why you think that you think that price can be improved in that market?
Okay, I mean, actually, I was not aware that the price of gases have increased there. But even without knowing that, I mean, as I told you earlier, the local manufacturers there have have increased their prices. They were undercutting each other, and then they were selling it at ridiculously low prices, which they have stopped now. So maybe one of the reason is because the gas prices have gone up. So that's really good for us. It really is good news for us, and then for sure that will help us in increasing our realizations there.
Okay, got you. And in terms of your logistics, how you're managing it from are you trucking it from Oman to Saudi, and or is it through ship?
No, it's all trucking from Oman. See, most
Oman.
of the exporters from Oman are using the trucking method only, mode only.
Okay, so are you using the new road through the Saudi?
Yes, we are
that's
using
being
the
built?
new roads. We are using the
Okay.
new road. Yes, that's right.
Okay, got you. Okay, that's it from my side. And thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you.
Hello, Suresh. Ahmed this
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, hi.
I have just one follow-up on the KSA situation currently.
Yeah.
So, do you see any positive impact in terms of quantity on the company's earnings in the first 3 months of 2024? Any ballpark number if you have currently with you?
I don't think so. I'll be able to give you a ballpark number on that because we have still not concluded the what do you call the quarter, and then the initial numbers are still not out. So I'm afraid I'll be able to share that information with you. But having said that, I had also told you that the numbers should be good, but there are it could have been even better, but for the challenges in the trucking.
Okay. So
Yeah.
price realizations will be good as compared to Q4 and Q3.
Price realization in that market is certainly better, but overall we need to see how it will pan out. I mean, I wouldn't have a number on that now.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Suresh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? If there are no questions, then maybe we can wind up the meeting. Is that fine? Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your patient hearing and then your queries. I think most of your queries have been answered, and then look forward to seeing you in the next meeting.